Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to another live special edition of Talking Pop Culture. And we're going to review not WWE, nearly fucked that up, AEW All Out. Wow. Before we get into this review, if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, please give it the thumbs up. Oh my Lord, was this a fantastic pay-per-view. We're going to go match by match. I'll give you my, 5-star rating of each match and how it all went out. So we did have some major, major returns in the wrestling ring, but with AEW. We had, so spoiler alert if you're planning to watch this, a replay of it. So spoiler alert, but we have Adam Cole, baby, back. Ruby Wright was her old name, but she's gone by Ruby Soho in AEW. And lastly, but not least, I heard the rumors. I didn't think it was going to happen, but yep, Bryan Daniels is what he's going by, is all in. He is at AEW. Oh my God. In the past week, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, they are starting to really pick up AEW. So firstly, we had the pre-show match, which in my eyes pretty much was the second best match in this whole show. A pre-show match pretty much outshining majority of the main card. And there was Orange Cassidy, the Best Friends, Jurassic Express versus Matt Hardy, Private Party, and TH2. 10-man tag match, 5-on-5. It was just exciting. The pops were awesome. The spots that they'd done, the moves that they'd done just kept getting better and better. I was absolutely amazed. I love Jurassic Express. I really want them to get the tag team titles. I know Lucha Brothers won it in this pay-per-view, but I'm praying that the day they get it. They're so exciting when they wrestle. Luchasaurus is just a beast. And Jungle Boy, I hope he gets a title shot. Like, the thing I love about AEW, you don't have to be the big, main, hardcore, muscly guys to be in the main event picture. You got talent, you're getting the push. And I really hope Jungle Boy eventually gets out there. This match was so good. I gave it a 4-star match rating. Like I said, great pops, great spots, like just the moves, the high-risk moves, everything that they've done was fantastic. We then opened up the show with Eddie Kingston versus Miro for the TNT title. Now, this match coming off the pre-show match felt a bit slow, but it was just one of your typical big brute kind of wrestle match, a bit technical at the same time as well. There's some good spots, some good moves, but there was good storytelling in this match. I'm spewing that Eddie Kingston didn't win it. I actually, really like Eddie Kingston as a wrestler. However, Miro keeps his undefeated streak and won. And I gave that match a 3-star match rating. We then move on to Satoshi Kojima. I'm very bad at saying the Japanese names. Versus John Moxley. Again, a very old school kind of technical match. They did tell some great stories in the ring. There were some good spots. I've never been a fan of John Moxley, to be honest. I know I've got his toy up there, but I'm just collecting all the series. But I'm not a massive hardcore fan of John Moxley. I wasn't a big fan of him when he was in WWE as Dean Ambrose. I never really liked him, but I do understand why he's getting a push. He is, very popular with the crowd, and a lot of people do love him. But he's just not really one of the people that I really enjoyed most. But Satoshi Kojima, man, this is what I love about AEW, that how they've got deals with New Japan Wrestling, TNA. They've got all these deals with all these other wrestling companies, so we can get matches that we want to see. You know what I mean? We get the good matches that we want to see, and It was awesome. It was awesome. After the match, Suzuki Minoru, New Japan Wrestling absolute legend. I gave a 3-star match rating for the Moxley and Minoru Kojima match. But Suzuki Minoru, who is just a absolute legend within New Japan Wrestling, he then came out, cut a promo, and we're getting at Dynamite. We're going to get a Moxley versus Suzuki match. Hey, Sean, what's up, mate? Thanks for joining us. Sean's decided to pop in. Don't know if you watch the wrestling, mate, but join in if you do watch the wrestling. We're talking about the AEW pay-per-view that just happened, well, just finished about half an hour ago, All Out. Suzuki Minoru versus Moxley at Dynamite, which would be an awesome match. This Suzuki is like, I haven't really seen much of his matches, but the matches that I have seen, he's just a beast. He's an animal. He's a vet. He's good. He's probably in his 50s, maybe early 60s, but you know what I mean? He's going to put on a good show. And for a Dynamite, like I really thought this would be maybe the next pay-per-view Full Gear match, but nah, man, we're going to get a Dynamite next week, which is going to be awesome. We then had the women's title match, Chris Statlander versus Brit Baker. Brit Baker obviously defending her title. She kept her title. This was a great match. You know what I love? The AEW women know how to put on a show. The WWE, I'm sorry, the women there do not really know how to put on a show. The AEW women really do know how to excite the crowd. They take risks. They do moves that you don't see women usually doing, and it's just so entertaining. It's so good. Absolutely loved it. I gave that a 4-star match rating. It's pretty much, the third best match on the card. It was just amazing. Like, I really love the women's division. I love the mixed of different women. Like, they got the big women, the small women, the high-risk women. They've got, just all these different women from around the world, Japan, Europe, America. And it's just amazing where, the WWE just really focuses on, just Americans. And they do, I understand, have other cultures in there. But AEW do it really good and absolutely love that match. The match of the night, which stole the show, the cage match, Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers. The Lucha Brothers are just, I love these blokes. And they had the best entrance. Like, their entrance to the ring was absolutely amazing. Their outfits, I absolutely loved it. It's a cage match for the tag titles. You knew this was going to end up just chaotic. You knew that this was going to be some high-risk moves. It's going to be bloody, and it was all of that and more. I absolutely loved it. When I think it was Nick, I can't remember which young buck it was, got out he changed his shoe, and at the bottom of his shoe had all the thumbtacks on it, and kicking the Lucha Brothers in their head. Oh, it was violent, gory, and it just takes me back to the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, this is what AEW does. They take me back to the 90s when I really loved the wrestling, and very, very, very early 2000s. Absolutely loved it. And that was a 4.5-star match rating. Absolutely insane. Seriously, if there's just try and find it on YouTube, the highlights or whatnot, and go and check out that match. Absolutely amazing. The next one was the Casino Battle Royale. The winner got the shot at the women's champion, who was Britt Baker. And yeah, I don't know. Whether it's men, women, I'm not a big fan of, like, even the Royal Rumbles. I'm not a big fan of them because there's just too much going on in the ring, and that's what was happening with this. There's just too much really going on in the ring. Ruby Soho, Ruby Riott from WWE, she returned in this match. She was a Joker card, pardon me, and she returned in this match. And I just thought, the moment I saw her return, I thought, okay, she's probably going to win this. She's probably going to get the title shot. I don't like when, they come from another company into a new company and straight away get the title shot. I feel sorry for the other women that have been busting their ass week in, week out. But, I understand nowadays with wrestling, if you're a draw, they're going to, you're a draw card and people love you. They're going to put you in the spotlight a bit more. But she's a good wrestler. Don't get me wrong. Ruby Soho, Ruby Riott, whatever you want to call her these days. She's an amazing wrestler. She's good. She's got in-ring techniques, very good. So her and Britt Baker will match up good. I'm sure they'll have their match at Full Gear. But I did give the Casino Battle Royale a 2-star match rating. The next match was Chris Jericho versus MJF. And pretty much if Chris Jericho loses, he has to retire from wrestling. I thought, man, this could be possible. He's been wrestling for 40 years. He's been wrestling for a long, 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 long time. So when the match happened, I was a bit like, at the start, it had the old school countdown, the Y2J from WWE era. And I'm like, oh man, he's going to maybe do a whole montage of all 40 years, kind of video clip coming out to the ring. And it ended up being MJF punking us. I got to admit, MJF is hands down one of the greatest heels in all wrestling companies at the moment. He really, really does make you hate him. Me, I'm always been a fan of heels. I've always loved the heels. I don't know why, but MJF, he's just, I love him. Like I can't hate him because I love him because he does his job so good at making people hate him. It was a very technical, old school kind of match. It's a bit back and forth. MJF did win, but Jericho did have his foot on the rope. So then they called it back, the ref, and we had a little bit of a couple minutes more wrestling. And Chris Jericho obviously beat MJF because MJF was turned off by the decision because he thought he had won. Just a typical kind of wrestling story thing that they tell in the ring, but they did tell a good story in the ring. There were some good spots. MJF just really knows how to rub up the crowd. He's taking the signs of people, ripping them up, and mouthing off to the crowd. He did what he had to do, and that's what I love about him. He plays the heel so good. Jericho can just go from heel to freaking good guy, baby face, like a click your finger, this bloke. But it was an all right match, decent match, 2.5 star rating. And then the big one, the reason why everyone pretty much probably watched this pay-per-view, it wasn't the main event. I thought they were going to do the whole CM Punk Darby Allin main event, but obviously they didn't, and I love that and I respect that because that gives the title bout more prestige. But then obviously with the ending that we got with the title match, like you had to have that as the main event. But CM Punk versus Darby Allin was your old school, technical, great wrestling match. The ones that you will go and see when you go to those little indie shows like here in Melbourne, we've got a couple of them, and that's what this was. It just reminded me of just going to the local wrestling, sitting down and enjoying a good technical story. And what I loved about it, like we knew CM Punk was going to win his debut match, but they didn't make it out like CM Punk completely squashed this bloke. Like they made Darby Allin look really, really good. You know what I mean? They told the story and they made him look good, but then they also let CM Punk win, where we'll talk about the AEW versus WWE at the end of it, but WWE just squash him. It's just plain and simple. And that's why I stopped watching WWE. They just squash him. It was a great match. It was good to see CM Punk back in the ring, and I gave that a 3.5 star match. Then the toilet break match, which was Paul White and QT Marshall. I don't even know why this match was on there, but obviously it just had to separate the CM Punk buzz and get you kind of, I guess, tied down for the big match that they had and big return that they get at the end of it. But Paul White and QT Marshall literally went for 5 minutes, maybe 10, maybe 7 minutes. It was very bad. Didn't like Big Show. I'm sorry. Just retire, mate. Be a manager. Do what Sting's doing. Just grab one of the talents and one of the big boy talents and be their manager and help them, push them, shine with them. I think he's done. Big Show. He's got to go. Too many hip replacements. But yeah, that match was probably the worst match of the whole pay-per-view, and I gave it a 1.5 star match. And then we had the main event, Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega. Kenny, he retained the title, but my Lord, it was a great 40-minute, could not get bored of it, non-stop action. Like it was the spots that they were doing, the moves that they were doing. Kenny Omega, a lot of people hate on him, but he is a great, spectacular wrestler. He's really good with his moves. He's really good technically. Christian, he's had Christian Cage, whatever you want to call him. He's had his, he's been around forever. So they just told a beautiful story, did some beautiful moves, beautiful action, worked the crowd great. It was awesome. Absolutely great main event to end on. And I gave that a 3-star match rating. But like I said, the women's match, the pre-show match stole the show. And the Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers was pretty much the best match of the night. But then at the end, obviously, Kenny Omega is just talking shit, saying, I'll defeat all of you. No one's good to me. There are anyone that can maybe give me a challenge is they're either at another company or they're dead. And he was just mouthing off. And then Adam Cole's music hits and out comes Adam Cole. Everyone's going off their heads. We're all yes. Because if you remember, when Adam Cole left, where was it? I think it was Ring of Honor. He left Ring of Honor. Him and Omega were having like a big beef kind of thing and big fights. And it left messy, like story-wise, not like in real life-wise, but story-wise. So I thought, yep, sweet, this is it. They're going to pick up where they left off, where he went to WWE. But he obviously super kicks a Jurassic Park, what's his name? The guy from Jurassic Express Jungle Boy just kicks his head and he goes rolling out of the ring. They hug, and you pretty much got the Bullet Club all back together, the Elite back together. And then he just, cuts another promo. Kenny Omega talking shit again, like no one can beat him. Good night, I'm going home. And then Daniel Bryan's new music hits, and out comes Daniel Bryan. And I didn't think it was going to happen. Like, I just thought, I knew he was going to come, but I thought it was going to be a bit longer. The wait was going to be longer, but no, they just did it straight away. And I just started yelling and screaming. I was so happy that I took the day off to watch this match, just to watch this whole pay-per-view. And out he came, and the crowd went nuts. He looks good. I'm hoping we get an Omega versus Daniel Bryan match. It's at Full Gear when that comes. I'm sure Daniel Bryan's going to talk at Dynamite and tell us what's going on. But man, it's just good to see. And it's just good to see, like, I know a lot of people, AEW just taking all the WWE wrestlers, and, well, these guys are talented. Okay, Ruby Soho, Ruby Riott, she was very talented. WWE just didn't want to push her for some reason. Adam Cole, very, very talented. Again, didn't really push him, couldn't fit him in to what they wanted. And Daniel Bryan, come on, you can't say, Daniel Bryan's washed up, because I hate when people talk about, AEW's got Sting, they got all these old washed up people. Okay, so it's all right for WWE to bring back Goldberg, who's like in his 60s, to bring back Brock Lesnar, to bring back Bobby Lashley, to bring back John Cena, pardon me, to bring back all their old veterans. It's okay for them to do it, have The Undertaker still wrestling, and it's okay for WWE to do it. But the moment AEW starts doing it, they crack the shits all these people. They start talking smack. And the thing about WWE and AEW, the difference is WWE puts all these big guys in the spotlight and makes them pretty much just take away the spotlight from the upcomers. AEW's doing a great job on looking after the young talent, pairing them up. Like Darby Allin being paired up with Sting is just great. Having a mentor, a veteran mentor, carry them through makes them a better wrestler as well. In 10 years' time, all these wrestlers at AEW, they're going to be household names. All your wrestlers at WWE, who are you going to have? Yes, there's some young guys coming up the ranks, but they're no good. They're not going to be able to deal with the spotlight, because I was watching Damian Priest, I think his name was, cutting a promo on the start of Raw, because I decided to watch Raw for the first time last week in God knows how long, and I just turned it straight off. Like, this guy's opening the show, he's just got no skill, no talent. AEW has the skill and has the talent. They're building up their wrestlers. They're telling great stories. Yes, I know a lot of people like AEW because they're a bit more edgier, a bit more violent, a bit more all those kind of things, and, WWE staying PG. But I really do hope we get a whole WCW versus WWE or WWF back in the day war again. I don't think AEW is going to get to that, because AEW just know that they got the better product, and it's, forgive me, but they do have the better product. They are beating WWE when it comes to ratings and ticket sales. Like, it's happening. But the only way WWE can fix their mess and compete with AEW is if they just stop pushing all these old bastards, bringing back Goldberg, bringing back John Cena, who start focusing on these young guys. And all these people saying, they can't cut it in WWE, so they go to AEW. Nah, man. Why would Daniel Bryan come to AEW? Why would CM Punk come to AEW? Like, I'm there because they can wrestle. They can tell like CM Punk said, it's not entertainment. It's wrestling. They're wrestling. They're telling you true stories in the ring. They're showing you great wrestling moves. It's not entertainment. It's pure wrestling. And that's why I find that I enjoy AEW a lot more than I find WWE. What's up, Think Greek Theory? Thanks for tuning in, mate. Don't know if you like wrestling, but we're just talking wrestling. We're nearly finished. But my overall rating for the show would be a 4 out of 5. It was epic. It was great. It was everything as a wrestling fan you would want. It had your returns to wrestling. It had your great matches. It had your great stories. It had awesome promos. Absolutely enjoyed it. So if you're watching this off on the replay, let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts were. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? What matches did you enjoy most? Which matches you didn't enjoy most? And if you are a wrestling fan, hit the subscribe button, because I plan to do more of these live kind of post-show video reviews after the pay-per-views finish. Today was on a Monday here in Australia. Usually they're on a Sunday, and I know Full Gear next month is Saturday America, which is going to be Sunday. So awesome. I was very lucky that I had a day up my sleeve to take off from work, so I took it off today to watch this awesome comeback for CM Punk. If you are from Australia and you're trying to figure out how you can watch AEW, you can actually get it from Fight TV. It's an app where you can stream it off your laptop, like I did, into my computer. You can pay $7 a month. That's Aussie, $7 a month, and you will get all the AEW shows and everything that they have, except the pay-per-views. You need to pay for the pay-per-views, but the pay-per-views are only $20 US, which work out to be about, I think it cost me $28 Australian. So if you are in Australia and you want a chance and figure out how to watch AEW, Fight TV. Get the app, suss them out, check them out. They've got the backlog, so you can catch up on Dynamite from 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. But this is probably the best point to jump on right now after this big pay-per-view. All the stories have been concluded. They're now going to start with new stories. If you're a comic fan and you never really watched wrestling, get into it because it is kind of like comic books, to be honest. I love wrestling. I've got some wrestling comic books over there too because I do comics. They tell the stories. You got your hero, you got your villain, and they've got the story arcs that go for 6, 7, 8 weeks. You know what I mean? Like they have those story arcs. It's good fun. It's good excitement. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for coming in, Sean. Thank you for coming. Think Greek Theory, Geek Theory. I don't know why I said Greek then. Maybe because I'm half Greek. If you haven't done so, go and follow and subscribe. Think Geek Theory as well. Awesome fellow Aussie. Thank you for watching, guys. Like I said below, let me know your thoughts on this pay-per-view down below. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Peace.